Yes.
And here are the goods. So it's been a pretty weekend of the box office. We really thought The Predator was going to do something.
Well, it did something.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. After all the troubled reshoots and all the work and everything that went into it with controversy and all that, we touched on it last week. It finally came out, and it came out to be number one, but at a week 24 million.
That's horrible for what seemed to have been a big blockbuster movie. Like, this was supposed to be the end of summer, or was it beginning of the fall movies?
Beginning of the fall movies.
Okay, beginning of the fall movies. It's one that we thought everybody wanted to see it, but obviously at $24 million, didn't nobody want to see this movie.
Now, projections were at 26, so it was kind of below expectations.
26?
Yeah.
They were like, hey, we did good. We almost hit it.
Yeah. Worldwide, it's sitting at 54 million worldwide in the first weekend. Had some decent competition as far as the holdover for The Nun, which actually took second place with 18 million.
Nun's going to pick back up as we get closer to Halloween.
I think so too. Kind of similar to how Annabelle was going, how it was performing too.
Sorry, guys.
That's right. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. The Nun. Number 2. All right. So in third place was A Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively.
Oh, the hotness movie that I still haven't seen.
And you know what? In all honesty, after The Shallows and all that, I'm sorry, but Anna Kendrick just looks gorgeous in this movie.
Oh, come on, man.
She looks a little better than Blake Lively. That's just me. I don't know. It must be the dream.
Never in the history of ever is that a thing.
Hey, they're both lovely girls, but Paul Feig directed this dark comedy, and it was pretty much a hit at the theater that I work at.
Okay.
Sold out shows. It was doing really well. Surprise hit.
Those Anna Kendrick.
16. Those Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect.
16.
Singing in this movie.
I thought she was singing and she was gonna dodge sharks with Blake Lively.
That is amazing. Can y'all do the sequel like that? That'd be great.
So Simple Favor has 16 million, third place. Fourth place was White Boy Rick.
Which was funny is that I'm finding out, like, in watching the previews to the movie and stuff like that, like, so White Boy Rick is actually from Detroit.
Yes, it is.
And so I was alive when all that stuff was happening. I'm old. I was alive when all that stuff was happening, and I always thought that he was a legit drug kingpin. I didn't know that they just put him in that role, because I was there, like, I remember seeing on TV when he got arrested, and they were like, White Boy Rick did this, he held this whole drug cartel, and it was a big thing in Detroit. Who knew he was like a patsy in this whole thing?
Yeah, and an informant.
Yeah.
And also, but if you like movies like Donnie Brasco, Black Mask, if you like those type of movies, White Boy Rick will satisfy your need there for that old
White
school.
people and drugs.
Yeah, so Brown Boy Manny approves. Number 5, Crazy Rich Asians. Still in the top 5. 8.7 million.
They still found more people who still haven't seen this movie.
Yes, barely missing that number 4 spot with 8.7. White Boy Rick was at 8.8.
This is this year's Girls Trip.
The people have actually compared it to My Big Fat Greek Wedding from back in the day, as far as the popularity and the sleeper hit that nobody saw coming. 187 million worldwide. Not bad at all.
Not at all.
Peppermint dropped out of the top 5 at number 6 with $6 million, and I'm depressed.
Electra.
I'm depressed. I love this movie. I thought Peppermint was great.
Wow.
I really like.
I mean, what does she do different in this movie that she hadn't done in all the other action movies that she's done?
Well, she didn't dance Thriller like she did 13 Going on 30. She didn't use her size like she did in Electra.
She's a tall drink of water. She's a tall drink of water.
Anyway, so that pretty much was the top 5. Now let's see how any of these movies. I don't think that Predator will stay on top, because The House with a Clock in Its Walls premieres with Claire Danes and Jack Black. It's kind of like
that's going to be more of a family film.
Yeah.
It's almost like Goosebumps Part 2.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's going to win because everybody's going to take their kids and go see it.
And that's what I'm thinking too. It looks pretty fun. Got a little bit of a Haunted Mansion type of feel to it, so I think it's going to do well. Another one is Life Itself with Oscar Isaac. It's got pretty much an all-star cast on it. It almost looks like a series on NBC, like This Is Us.
It does. That's a perfect way to describe that.
So, you throw up a little bit of This Is Us, mix it up with some Parenthood, there you got Life Itself. So we'll see which one's going to go on top. I think it's going to be The House with the Clock in Its Walls.
Everybody's going to take their kids to see that one.
All right, so let's get into a trailer talk.
Yes.
Captain Marvel trailer hit, and it did not disappoint at all.
Because we got more of that Marvel de-aging. It's like, next to this, Sam Jack. Looking like he was Sam Jack from Coming to America.
What is this?
They have perfected this. I think we're going to get in the future, and I can get off the whole Captain Marvel thing.
You look like Sam Jack from Fresh. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
All right, so I was like, I think they're gonna one day soon. We're just gonna have a movie of like people like that are elderly and like in wheelchairs and canes, and we're gonna see them doing like action movies. They're gonna de-age everybody. All you gotta do is just be a voice and just be there on set somewhere, and they're gonna de-age you. And it's like all the actors that you've wanted to keep making movies. They're gonna make movies for like 50 years now because de-aging is now taking hold.
This is going to be a separate topic. As a matter of fact, we might just go ahead and throw a good rant on this, but we'll get to that later. Starts out with her crashing into a Blockbuster, our old stomping grounds back in the day.
The signage was wrong.
Signage was wrong, and I want to know who closed because that freaking thing was not straightened.
Yes, exactly.
It was not straightened. We want to know who closed that night.
You can blame it on Captain Marvel for crashing.
But either way, so you get a lot of the nostalgia standpoint from that being in the 90s. Got, like you said, bringing up Sam Jack.
Yeah.
De-aging, got 2 eyes.
Yeah, you got 2 eyes now.
I got 2 eyes, mother.
Got 2 eyes, got hair on his head. Hey man, this is Shaft. No, that's not. I was about to say he shaved his head with Shaft. Never mind. I take it back.
Got a young Coulson.
Got a young Coulson. We got everybody got de-aged in this movie.
Yes, they did.
I don't understand though the time. Why does it have to be so far back?
Actually, I honestly believe that there are
for this time they're gonna make her old.
There are different. There are different parts of it similar to. Well, first of all, before I get into that, this reminded me a lot of Green Lantern.
It's exactly Green Lantern.
It reminded me a lot of the Green Lantern, where what is it called? The Star Force?
Yeah,
the Star Force is the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, the Green Lantern Corps. And she was a pilot. Hal Jordan
was a pilot, exactly.
He goes to space, Hal Jordan went to space. So he goes to a different planet, Hal Jordan went to a different planet.
So if this bombed, then Brie Larson will be Deadpool, the girl, Deadpool.
No. That's actually funny. Go ahead and do it, please.
It looks like a really solid origin movie. Like I said, it does showcase her in the Star Force.
I always thought that they were kind of like starting it running. Like I think maybe they'll do more flashbacks to what
That's
it was.
What I think too.
Instead of just focusing too much on the backstory, just like, hey, you were already Captain Marvel, or at least you're in the Star Force, and you're rolling around with the Kree and stuff like that. Which I guess that's going to deal with the time jump. Maybe she has some of the Kree in her to where she can not age.
There are some parts that you saw that were really comparable to Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantum Realm and all that stuff too. So you saw a lot of that. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out.
She runs into Ant-Man in the Quantum Realm, and that's how she ends up in this time. That's how we're gonna beat Thanos.
She looks great.
She looks great.
I think she looks amazing in this movie.
And all the people that were upset about the costume when you saw the turquoise and the green on it, they were like, that's not the right colors. We now understand it was because it was a Star Force, and we actually get to see her in the correct colors.
Her actual one.
And we even got to see with the mask on, and that's amazing because in like some
and the mohawk.
Yeah, the mohawk and the mask, and like some of the renditions that they had before. It looks like they're touching on everything. And Jude Law is going to be Marvel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The real or Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel. Yeah, and
they're touching everything, so I'm glad that we saw that. I wouldn't pick.
And it's funny that you brought up Jude Law because he really reminded me of Mark Strong as Sinestro. Like he's playing that role. I don't know why. I know.
Well, like a teacher. Yeah, it was like this is completely a parallel to
Green Lantern. Exactly.
But like we did it better though. We're gonna do it better.
Marvel, I gotta give hats off to Marvel. Now DC is doing their part, as far as hiring Oscar winners.
Right.
Lawrence Fishburne, who's also part of the MCU.
Right.
Ben Affleck. Who else? Jeremy Irons.
But Ben Affleck and what?
Well, he won for Argo.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying that you got these Oscar winners.
Oh.
Well, I mean, but then you look at MCU's roster, and you got Oscar nominees left and right. You got Samuel L. You got Robert Downey Jr.
You know why?
Now you got.
They're like, how much you want?
What I mean by, and now you got Brie Larson, and what I mean by that is that how they're taking the characters seriously, that they're seeking out solid performers that can execute these type of roles.
Also, too, I think it's these are people they know can sell tickets as well. I mean, because we just saw Brie Larson in King Kong. So I mean, in Jude Law's, I mean, he hadn't been in blockbuster black movies, but he does have a fan following. It's like he can get people out there so go see.
Well, I mean, he was in Sherlock Holmes too, twice with RDJ. So
yeah, so there was a connection right there. He was already destined to be in Marvel.
There's a couple of things that stood out for me. Besides the obvious, as far as the Star Wars and all that other good stuff, the costume, the mask, and all that stuff, was one, her punching an old lady, which was awesome.
What was that movie where the drop kicked the old lady? It was a comedy. It was he was a police officer, and he was like, he hurt some hard beat, and they sent him to some town. It doesn't happen. That it was I'll put it in.
Anyway,
I'll put up the drop kick.
So you got punching old ladies. Yeah. No, but this is the one thing that I liked about the trailer, and I don't know if any of you have noticed it. Go back and check it out. But you got three shots of different versions of herself falling down, and then you get at the end of the trailer, you get the same 3 shots of her rising up.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I thought that was cool, man. The way they freaking edited that and set that up, man. I thought it looked pretty awesome.
Just don't make it another Suicide Squad issue, where the trailer is better than the movie.
Yeah, no joke. But what do you see? What do you see this turning into? Do you see it being I think it's definitely going to be a hit for sure with the March release date.
Right.
How do you think it's going to do? How do you think it's going to set up Avengers 4?
Well, I mean, as Marvel movies make money regardless. Iron Man 3 made a bunch of money. It's the most money Iron Man in the series, so it doesn't matter. As long as it's under the Marvel brand, it's going to make a bunch of money. The one thing that I want to make, I hope that they don't just force a bunch of stuff in there just to make it fit within a universe so that it all makes sense somehow. But also, too, when they were showing a lot of her powers, in the comic books, they don't even though she has those powers, they don't represent them too much. From it's flight, punching. Yeah, I got some energy stuff that I can do, but she didn't do much of that stuff. It looked like it's all over the place here. She's doing everything all at once, and it's maybe just hey, I just got these powers, so I'm gonna do everything.
Maybe it's gonna be in different, the way they edited the trailer, but it is actually in different parts and different times in the movie.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but it was just wow, that's a lot. They make sure they showed you every one of her powers. It's in the comics, it's more it's more flat. She's more Superman-ish in there.
I just hope that the only concerns I have comparing it to Green Lantern is that the training part is too short, and the villain is actually good because
she's wearing a real suit, so it's not CGI there. That makes a difference.
That's true. But you do see Ronin in there, and how he ties
time before he dies.
But before he dies, so how it ties to Guardians,
and because he's a Kree, so it has to be part of him too.
Yeah. So, but
I'm hoping we get Nova in here somewhere, or at least some mention of Nova, or we're gonna get the Nova Corps at some point, but we already have mentioned the Nova Corps, but we're gonna get to where they're gonna mention about somebody taking on the mantle of that, because there's been multiple Novas. I want to see something because I've been waiting for them to get to that character.
So that's going to be released in March 2019. So drop a comment below and let us know what you think of the trailer. What are your concerns? What did you like about the trailer? All right, so moving on. Blockbuster was a sentimental part for us as far as watching that trailer since we worked there all those years ago. Well, it's been actually revived to some degree. First, the last Blockbuster was actually crafting its own beer.
What?
Yeah, last Blockbuster in Oregon, I want to say, or Alaska, one of those, was crafting its own beer. So it was in the news. It's a craft beer with, and I can't remember, I think it's called the Last Blockbuster. I think that's what the beer's called. And so that was in the news recently, and the Fox marketing team pretty much got on it, and they actually and then the second is appearing in this Captain Marvel trailer. Now, this is awesome. Okay. Fox marketing team worked with a store in the UK that built an actual Blockbuster and used it as a marketing tool. It was only going to be open for 2 days, and it's just recently passed, but I wanted to talk to you about it.
So when people return their movies, it's already going to be closed.
No, get this. But September 17th, September 18th. It just passed.
Okay.
But this store was only going to be open for 2 days, and the only movie that they were going to sell was Deadpool 2. So Fox marketed this, to pay the nods to pop culture, and Blockbuster was a big part. That would have been awesome. I mean, it's already passed, and he did not show up or anything. But regardless, just the fact that they did this is just awesome. It commemorates the date when the first Blockbuster was open in London.
Okay.
So that's why they picked this date.
Okay.
They gave away 1,989 copies, 1989. 1,989 copies of Deadpool 2 if you presented your Blockbuster card.
Oh man, do that here. I'll pull out my shirt.
If you actually had your Blockbuster card, they were going to give you a commemorative VHS cover for Deadpool 2.
That's awesome.
That is so sweet, man.
Please do that here in the U.S.
Right now, though, there's only one Blockbuster left in the United States,
Last
Man Standing is actually in Oregon. So we got to get our ass to Oregon.
Do you have to take the Oregon Trail to get there?
No.
Oh.
So yeah, blast from the past there. I miss Blockbuster.
I miss Blockbuster too, and it was like you can't go and talk to anybody about movies anymore, but you can talk to us.
We're your Blockbuster.
We're gonna pull out the shirts one day.
Well, speaking of, you know what? We're gonna wear our old uniforms.
Yeah.
Let's wear our old uniforms. All right. And Superman. Right. Okay, we didn't get a chance to talk about it because it actually happened the day after we filmed. So we didn't even get to talk about it. So let's get into it. They're saying that he may be done with the Superman role after the talks broke down for his cameo in Shazam. It didn't happen. He's currently joining the Netflix series The Witcher.
Yeah, The Witcher.
So he's currently joining that right now. So he was, because of the conflict as far as scheduling, he was not able to do the cameo. Of course, that's going to piss WB off,
right.
And they've decided to shift their attention away from that and focus more on Supergirl.
I think that because they hadn't greenlit Man of Steel 2 anyway, I think that they weren't looking to do another Superman film. And they were pushing it off because we haven't even gotten to this Batman film that's coming out yet. They have announced so many different things. They got so much stuff on their plate. All the stuff, all the properties they already got going, those are getting backburned, especially since nothing's really working that well to begin with.
With the exception of Wonder Woman.
Except for with exception of Wonder Woman. So what it was like, hey, we want to make sure that your face is still out there somewhere. Like, be in Shazam. He was like, well, you're not going to give me enough money or the time's not going to work out. And he said no, and I think that kind of got blown up more than what it was. I don't think they dropped him. I think they were originally going to go to Supergirl anyway. I think they, like I said, Man, it's still 2 had never been announced. Basically, the only time we've seen Superman since then has been in BBS and Justice League, and now we were trying to get him in Shazam.
Right.
It's like they were just trying to get him into things. They were nowhere even talking about doing a Man of Steel 2. So I just think it was one of those like, hey, he couldn't do this, and then everybody just kind of jumped the gun and said, well, like, he must be done. Because he posted that weird Twitter video where he's like in the Krypton lifting shirt,
and he's
raising the Superman and putting him back down. And I was like, he's messing with us because he knows he's not done with Superman. He was like, I just couldn't agree to do this.
And his agent has come out and said, and so has...
Yeah, he's like, he's still got the cape in the closet.
And so has WB. They came out and they said that they still have a really good relationship with Henry Cavill.
He's not done.
So
like,
I honestly don't believe...
Agree to the sham.
Yeah, I honestly don't believe that he's done with the character. I don't really think that it would be fair to drop him, considering that WB is the one that dropped the ball when they decided to turn Man of Steel 2 into Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Only because they needed to put the Batman character out on film to rival Marvel. And that's the problem right there. Mm-hmm. Marvel is pretty much 10 years ahead of the game. You know, they got a 10-year head start on DC.
They were trying to get somebody to drive up in the car and say, all right, get out, hurry up, run with them. And so, you know.
But you know, them doing that, you know, DC took a step back there, and now it's like they're playing catch up. They're trying their best to catch up, and they're not paying attention to the substance of the characters themselves, and not taking their time and like.
Give us this Flash movie already that I don't want to see. Give us this Flash movie.
Do the Flashpoint and restart all over again.
It's funny, we're gonna lose Gal Gadot if we do that.
No, we won't. I don't think so.
Really? Okay.
Now you bring that up.
All right.
All right. So let's say Henry Cavill is done.
Okay.
Ben Affleck right now he's pretty much, he might be out as Batman. Okay, so...
Well, he's in rehab, by the way.
Right, I know. That's what I mean. And because of that...
It's like, hey, he's out because he can't make the film.
He's got a schedule conflict too.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't, I'm late for group. So, how should they proceed? Now, here's the thing. Right. If you're going to go and recast, you got Batman, Superman, the freaking main ones of this whole universe. But yet you're still going to keep Momoa because he's Aquaman coming out this December. Right. You still have Gal Gadot because the second Wonder Woman is next year. So you still have those two. Well, as far as the continuity is concerned from Justice League.
Well, they can always.
How would you introduce that?
They can always treat it like, well, like I said, we have this Flashpoint thing in front of us where they could just say like, oh, okay, this is everybody different. There was that post where they were talking about doing Michael B. Jordan. But they were saying like, they're not going to do that.
I did not agree with that.
It's not because I don't want to see a black person as it. It's just that, one, I think it'll cause too much controversy. And this happened to Will Smith when they asked him to be Superman at one point after he did Hancock, and he was like, no, I don't want to be white people's heroes. He was like, don't do that because you just piss everybody off. So, it's not a race thing. It's being true to the character. Don't keep switching the character on me. That's all I was. Don't switch character on me. But
Batman
has already proven that like they can switch Batman out.
Yeah, kind of like Bond.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like they want to try to do something like that with Superman as well because it's not working out. But I don't think they should. That you just stick with Henry Cavill or Cavill or how you pronounce his last name, or go back and continue Superman Returns.
All right, so I'm gonna
go back.
Give Brandon Routh a freaking do-over. Give him a chance. All right, I was gonna say, would you like it if a white man was cast as Apollo Creed? No, because it's not true to the character. Well, Apollo Creed. I'm black, y'all. All right.
I mean,
so
you got me thinking about this. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't like it.
Exactly. Because that's not Apollo Creed.
He'd be great as Apollo Creed.
Oh my God, be quiet. All right.
I saw Southpaw.
Jake Gyllenhaal is Apollo Creed.
Yes, I'll be okay with that.
Michael B. Jordan is Rocky Balboa.
Give me Eminem as Apollo Creed.
It's called 8 Mile. All right. So here's some choices.
Southpaw.
Yeah, and Southpaw. So you mentioned those castings. Okay, so Garrett Hedlund, who was in Tron Legacy.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about him taking over as Superman? I'm gonna give you two options. There's more, but I'm gonna give you two options. That's one.
Okay.
I don't think he's got the personality really to be Superman.
I don't know. Like you've sold me on Henry Cavill as Superman already, and I was like, I don't.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%.
Brandon Routh is the only other person I want to see as Superman. Now, Armie Hammer as Batman.
Yes. No. John Hamm. I would take John Hamm because he looks like a damn Bruce Wayne.
I don't want old Batman. I want Armie Hammer. After watching
Lone Ranger.
No. Was the movie that him and Henry Cavill did as spies and stuff?
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, Man from U.N.C.L.E. After seeing him in that, I want to see him as Batman.
Okay, fair enough.
And he was supposed to be in the Justice League Immortal. He was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be Batman, that's right. No, he was supposed to be Lantern, wasn't it?
No, he was supposed to be Batman.
Okay. Yes. All right. Now, here's one that's interesting. And Aspen, you can chime in on this one. Because it just interests me a little bit. And that's Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
It was an interesting thought.
No, he sucks as an actor. I'm sorry. He's not good. I've seen 2 50 Shades of Grey movies, and he wasn't good.
Well, he's got a red cape that he could tie up girls with.
Any of his other movies.
He wasn't good in any. He wasn't good in either one of those movies.
Hey, Lois.
I don't see him doing anything else.
Hey, Lois, let me put you in the red room.
Yeah, right?
Let me show you my real Fortress of Solitude.
Think of what he does to criminals.
All right, so that's we'll see how that whole DC thing turns out.
I don't want to see it.
Well, moving on with DC, the Joker origin movie, images of Joaquin Phoenix were released by Todd Phillips with him as actually Arthur Fleck.
Yeah. Affleck.
Or the failed comedian that turns into the Joker. Mm-hmm. Now, this looks like they're tapping into The Killing Joke.
Right.
It's a lot similar to The Killing Joke, but in The Killing Joke, he's actually the Red Hood too.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if they're going to put that. If they're going to go that route because this is an origin.
Cast for Batman. We've cast Thomas Wayne, and Thomas Wayne wasn't a part of that story.
True.
So, and we haven't heard that they're going to bring Commissioner Gordon. So
and he was a big part of it as well.
So he was a big
even Barbara Gordon was a big part of that.
So and they're casting this in the '80s, so it's too far back for them to do what they're doing here.
So besides Joaquin Phoenix, who actually,
well, maybe it's not.
He's actually.
I forgot we were doing old Batman now.
He's looking the part, man. I think.
No, he is. You know, he's coming off very with the long shaggy hair is coming off very Ledgerish. And,
is he Ledgerous, or is he?
The look, I'm not sure the interpretation is going to be the same, but
is he Jim Carrey, Edward Nygma?
It's Jim Carrey from that Netflix show when he's
kidding.
Yeah, it's Jim Carrey from there because he has the long shaggy hair too. It's that yeah. Jim Carrey should have been Joker.
Yes, especially this version. But you know what? Joaquin's got some acting chops. Oscar winner, so I'll give it to him.
I will let see.
Zazie Beetz, who just was fresh off of Deadpool 2, she's joined the cast as a possible
that movie, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Robert De Niro is also involved in this. Who he'll play? Oh, he's playing
the TV show host.
The TV show host, yeah. And Francis Cullen, you mentioned Commissioner Gordon. What'd you mention? Oh, Thomas Wayne. Yeah, you mentioned Thomas Wayne. Now, Alec Baldwin was actually tied to do this, but he backed out because of the. Really, I think it was because he said. I think it was scheduling conflicts too.
Yeah.
But I really believe it was like I'm tired of playing Trump, man.
I play Trump every week on Saturday Night Live. You're not gonna put me in a movie where I play Trump again.
So Francis Cullen is actually playing Thomas Wayne now. So that's interesting.
I'm okay. Right at this point now, I just want to see. I want to see a full trailer. I want to see what they're doing.
You see the footage on there, and there he is talking to the clown. First, he comes out of ha-has, all upset, and he looks like he's getting into it with the clown.
Yeah.
And takes off his nose, throws it, So
I want to see more. I want to see some dialogue. I want to see clown makeup. I want to see if Batman is in this film, because if they're gonna take from Killing Joke, Batman has to be in this film.
Now they've compared this. There's some shows out there online that have compared this to Martin Scorsese's King of Comedy with Robert De Niro and Jerry Lewis from back in the day, and that's pretty much a dark comedy too. Good movie, solid performances. They're kind of taking a little bit from that. Martin Scorsese was actually tied to this project, but I don't think he's involved in any way on this.
Do you think this film ends with him just becoming the Joker at the very end?
I hope not. Because then it's pointless. Then call it Fleck.
Sequel.
Call it A-Fleck.
Call it A-Fleck. I think that it's going to end that way. I think this is a RoboCop thing. Shut up. I know what you're going to say, but I think it's the how he became RoboCop, how he became Joker, not really focusing on him being Joker.
I think it's going to be a mixture of both. I think him as the Joker is going to have a solid amount.
Last 10 minutes in the movie, it's the Power Rangers where they became Power Rangers at the last 10 minutes in the movie.
Don't say that.
It's the last 10 minutes in the movie, the movie's called Power Rangers. They're only Power Rangers for 10 minutes in the movie.
Or Godzilla, where he's at the
Godzilla's briefly flashed. Is you're gonna see brief flashes of Joker, and you're not gonna get Joker to the last few minutes when he breathes fire.
Anyway, now Scorsese might not be involved in this movie, but Bradley Cooper actually is involved in this movie as producer. Now he's already worked with Todd Phillips in the Hangover trilogy and War Dogs, so they have a pretty good relationship. Yeah, so so he's involved in this, which is pretty interesting considering he's Rocket. But hey. All right.
He's not going to be doing any voice acting on it.
How will this turn out, man? Do you really believe that it's going to be origin, Joker at the end, it's over credits?
Yeah.
No!
Yes, because we haven't cast Batman.
You know, it's funny that they talk about how the Killing Joke is not canon.
Yes, but it's technically canon.
So...
It's good.
Hi, you're looking at The Goods. Welcome to the show. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we're going to be a little bit mellow today since Aspen says we're too loud.
Actually, we got a lot of fan feedback. This is that we were quite loud on all of our videos. So what better way than to start our videos going forward but be mellow tones?
Yeah, so why don't we start the show with a nice look at the box office.
Box office.